Decided I'm not giving up, 'cause you won't give up on me, you won't give up on me. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Love is holding on and it won't let go. Feel it breaking out like an echo in my soul. Echo in my soul, When light has fallen, my fear is coming, still you're calling me. When faith is lost and hope exhausted, you will be my strength. When my mind says I'm not good enough, God, you're enough for me. I've decided I'm not giving up, 'cause you won't give up on me, you won't give up on me. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo in my soul. An echo in my soul. Is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Love is holding on and it won't let go. Feel it breaking out like an echo in my soul. An echo in my soul. On the day that death surrendered to the mighty cross of Jesus Christ, the earth would shake beneath the waves of darkened skies. On his brow a crown of sorrow, for the King whose weakness was our strength. No word he spoke, his love was of Jesus Christ is the reason I'm alive. For his blood has set me free. It will never lose its power for me. Now the dawn of resurrection floods the night as hope prevails to shine. Salvation awakes, our chains to break, and we arise. Oh, the cross of Jesus Christ is the reason I'm alive. For his blood has set me free. It will never lose its power for me. It will never lose its power for me. It will never lose its power for me. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Christ my victory. Hallelujah, hallelujah, it is won for me. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Christ my victory. Hallelujah, hallelujah, it is won for me. On the day he comes in glory to reveal the fullness of his reign, our hearts will bow before the sound of Jesus' name. Oh, the cross of Jesus Christ is the reason I'm alive. For his blood has set me free. It will never lose its power for me. Hallelujah, hallelujah, watching every gesture of your hand. Waves of fear collapse in your command. I know tomorrow when the pressure rushes in, you'll be there to rescue me again. What a mighty God, what a mighty God you are. What a mighty God, what a mighty God you are. Here in your presence, there will be no other throne. All my heart is yours and yours alone. The song of heaven and my soul will sing the same. Jesus Christ, the name above all names. What a mighty God, what a mighty God you are. What a mighty God, what a mighty God you are. What a mighty God, what a mighty God you are. What a mighty God, what a mighty God you are. Glory, glory, and 1,000 hallelujahs. Oh Lord my God, how great you are. Honor, power, and another hallelujah. Oh Lord my God, how great you are. Glory, glory, and 1,000 hallelujahs. Oh Lord my God, how great you are. Honor, power, and another hallelujah. Oh Lord my God, how great you are. Oh Lord my God, how great you are. Oh Lord my God, how great you are. What a mighty God, what a mighty God you are. What a mighty God, what a mighty God you are. What a mighty God, what a mighty God you are. What a mighty God, what a mighty God you are. here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. 'Cause you are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are great maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. Never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. Never stop working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, and that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. 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 That is who you. That is who you miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You are a waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. A waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. He never stops working. Yeah.
Good morning. My dad's sick this morning, but luckily I was already planned to be doing this today. Just thank you, Nick, for filling in for that.
No problem.
That was weird hearing that in my mic.
What?
I don't know, it was just weird hearing it through there. Freaked me out.
Hello.
So I want to talk about God's plan for your life. We all know that God has a plan for our life. Most of the time, we don't know what that is. Life tends to seem random, or just a series of events we go through, and we just try to make our best. We just try to, go from one thing to another. God does have a plan for our lives, whether you can see it or not. And sometimes we get off that course, but we know that His course is always the best thing for us. Whatever He wants, whether it's hard, whether it's terrible, at the end of the time, when you get through what He has planned for you, it is the best thing that could possibly happen in your life. And so I want to talk about someone who had a gift and calling from God, who was very blessed in my eyes and became bitter and really just wasted his gift at the end. And so I think Jonah is a very interesting person for this, because he communicated with God in a way that we could only wish for. Like, he talked to God. He had the words, the direction. He had a perfect plan that God enacted and sent him out. And we don't get to see the time before he's sent to Nineveh, and we don't get to see the time after. But in this one time, he has a direct calling to go change these people's life, to go to Nineveh, to save them, and he doesn't want to do it. We know he rebels against God, and he tries to run away. He leaves his country. He gets in the boat. He jumps. They throw him out of the boat because the storm is bad and God's coming for him. And he gets swallowed by a fish, and he ends up in Nineveh. We all know the story. But he, is blessed, and he can't see it. He goes to Nineveh. He talks to these people, tells them, you're all going to die. God's going to destroy this world, this city, if you don't change, if you don't give up what you're doing, if you don't change your ways. And so they do. They listen. And Jonah's mad. He's so upset that God saved these people. And so he has this conversation with God. And it says, Jonah 4, 1-3, but it displeased Jonah exceedingly, and he became angry. So he prayed to the Lord and said, "Oh, Lord, was this not what I said when I was still in my country? Therefore I fled previously to Tarshish, for I know that you are gracious and merciful God, slow to anger and abundant in loving kindness, one who relents from doing harm. Therefore now, O Lord, I say, please take my life from me, for it's better for me to die than to live." He saved like tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people's lives just by bringing God back to them. And they bowed themselves down, they repented, and he is upset that they all got to live and that he was sent here in his eyes for nothing. His words were lies, basically, in his eyes or something. I don't know, he throws a fit. How many of us would love to hear God that clearly, to have that gift, to know that we're going out and helping God save all these lives, but he just becomes a bitter man. He becomes bitter, he becomes angry, and he corrupts everything that he had. It should have been this beautiful gift where he got to go and then come back home and, testify what God had done, but he became bitter because he didn't love anymore. He didn't love God. He didn't love, God's graciousness, God's slow to anger, abundant and loving kindness. He didn't love those things about God anymore. He just grew bitter, and, he got to experience it in a way we never will. Not until, we die and go to heaven, and he just wasted it. And that's something that can happen to all of us in every part of our lives. In our ministry, we can become bitter if things don't go the way. If our lives don't go the way we want, we can become bitter towards ourselves and those around us, and it can corrupt our relationships. It can corrupt basically every part of our lives, and it throws us off that plan. The most important ministry that we all have is loving others and loving God. Because without those things, we're nothing. If we can't love those that we don't like, and we may not like everybody, but we can love everybody. And if we can't do that, it's really hard to, we have to live like God, but he loves everybody. He may not like the things they're doing, but we have to take that on and become a piece of God in that. I used to think when it comes to preaching and stuff, I know I could public speak, I'd taken some classes and stuff, but I never thought I'd be able to stand up here and preach. Like, I always wanted to lead worship. I like to sing, and that makes me far more nervous than this does. And but I just didn't really I feel like maybe I was called, but I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel like I was enough. I felt unworthy, undeserving of a chance to speak. But we're all called, and the thing is, God calls imperfect people. Every one of us is imperfect. There's no perfect. But sometimes we're waiting for something to go perfect so we can operate in our gift. We're waiting for the time to line up. We're waiting for our heart to feel right. We're waiting for the anxiety to just go away, and it doesn't. If you have your calling, you have to operate it in every day. You have to take it on. And then trust me, it gets easier. Because the first time I led worship, I was sitting up here, I'm like playing guitar, and my leg is shaking so fast that I'm just like tapping. Like I can't, and I like shifted the foot and the other leg would go, and I just like was back and forth. Like I was just terrified. But when you get up here and you operate in your gift, and you, like when God touches you when you're singing or you're praying or you're just talking to people about God, that fear kind of fades. And sometimes it's even right there, it's still the same, but like you know you have this strength that's not yours. Like right before this, I was pretty nervous, and I'm like, I wanted to just really sing and get through and, feel God so I know that he's here and that I could operate, that I could talk and go on. So we all have these gifts. We're all called, and we're all called to bring good to the people around us. God tries to use us to guide people and to, reroute their lives and show them the things that are not necessarily wrong or sinful, but the things that are hurting their life. They're making them unhappy. We can be that person that in their lives to talk to them, to love them, to show them that there's just an easier way, a more relaxing life that can be out there. It's not so stressful. I really hope that Jonah realized after this whole story that he was just being ridiculous. He went and he laid under the tree, and he just waited for these people to die and was upset because he knew it wouldn't happen. But he had this beautiful gift, and he could have continued, hopefully, to do all these great things. Hopefully before and after that, we assume he was a faithful servant of God before he got bitter. The only thing we get to really see is his greatest success become his greatest failure, because in his greatest success, he can't appreciate it. And I think the beautiful thing about the Bible is that generally the people we see are all flawed. Other than Jesus, everyone had problems. They had character flaws. They had reasons that shouldn't have worked, reasons they weren't good enough. All kinds of people, like Moses, he didn't want to lead. He didn't want to speak. He was trained, but he didn't trust himself. He had no confidence. All these people are flawed and afraid. When God moved, a lot of times when their lives were on the line, they moved. They went knowing they were going to die. But how much do we get held back by our fear to move? We all have our own gifts, but how often do we get afraid? Because it's hard enough to just pray for somebody in the supermarket. It's hard enough to pray for somebody in church because there's this fear of, well, what if they think I don't, But we get held back by that thing, and our lives are not on the line. Imagine trying to be outspoken and full of faith in a time of persecution and oppression where we could die we don't get that. And yet it's scary. I get nervous. I don't, because I just socially awkward and afraid to do it. But so we look at another interesting person is Gideon. He was basically just a simple farmer living and trying to survive being starved and destroyed by the Midianites. And God sends an angel of the Lord to talk to this simple farmer. He had no military training, no government training. There's nothing important about him. He would be any random person out here, cutting hay. And so God sends the angel of the Lord and tells him, you're going to save Israel. You're going to deliver the Israelites out of their battles, and you're going to do it. And he's like, well, that's, he has this conversation with the angel of the Lord. So when the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, the Lord is with you, mighty warrior. And Gideon says, pardon me, my Lord. Gideon replied, but if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? Where are all his wonders that our ancestors told us about when they said, did not the Lord bring us up out of Egypt? But now the Lord has abandoned us and given us into the hands of Midian. The Lord turned to him and said, go in strength you have and save Israel out of the Midian's hands. Am I not sending you? He says, pardon me, my Lord, Gideon replied, but how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family. So in a time where God had turned away from these people for 7 years because of their disobedience, they'd gone to other gods, they'd forgot about God, so he left them in their toils. He left them to live. And so we have this man, he selects him that he's going to save all these people, and he's obviously not the most confident. He's not the strongest. There's no reason why he should succeed, but he takes those words and he tests God, and God answers his tests. And he goes and tears down this altar of Baal that the people he knew all worshipped at. And God blesses him and tells him he's going to have this army. So here comes this farmer, tells him he's going to give him an army, and pretty soon, we don't know how it happens, he has 32,000 men ready to go fight. 32,000 people going to ready to take the battle. They're going to take back these towns. They're going to push the Midianites out. They're going to take their kings. And God decides, oh, that's too many. We don't need 32,000 people. That's just too many. You can do it with less. So he asks how many of these men are quaking in fear, how many are too scared to go to battle. So 22,000 people leave. They're going to war. They need as many as they possibly can. They're like, yeah, let's just get rid of 22,000. That's fine. So God's like, yeah, that's fine. That should be enough. Actually, no, let's whittle it down a little more. So he has them all go drink at the water. And he takes the smallest number, depending on how they drank, if they lapped up like dogs or if they bent down and used their hands. And so in the smallest number of that, there's 300 people. It's like, yeah, 300 people. That's enough to take armies. We don't know how many hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, these people, how many they're fighting. So he has 300 people. They're kind of scared. God's like, yeah, that's the number. And so, but he tells Gideon, he's like, well, go down to the town and listen. You're scared now. You don't think you can do it with 300. You didn't think you could do it with 32,000. But go listen. And when he goes, God had prepared the way. He hears the people already talking. They're already quaking in fear because they know Gideon's coming, this champion who at this point has done nothing that we know of except gather an army. And they're bigger and they're badder and they've got more people and they've trapped the Israelites for all this time and they're afraid of him. They have these dreams of Gideon coming. They see a loaf of bread rolling down the hill and smashing through the town when they sleep. Terrifying loaf of bread is coming for them. And so as soon as Gideon and his 300 men arrive, they're playing their trumpets, they're making noise, and they flee, they run, the kings run, and they chase them and pursue them until they capture all that they're supposed to capture. But God shows them, as like grandly as he can, that 300 men under God can beat an army. We have that same power. We not have mountains to move, we don't have armies to fight, but there are things in our life that we have power to move them. We have God, we have those gifts. So he sends this men, and the battle is, it was already won before he gets there, but so it's over. They try to do the obvious thing. They try to put Gideon in power because the Israelites always trying to put up a king, always trying to put someone to rule them other than God. So Gideon tells me he doesn't want to, but he takes his spoils, and for 40 years they had peace. Gideon went off, he had kids, he lived, and they had peace, and they remembered God, and as soon as Gideon died, they forgot about God. They went into another time where all those great things, once the generation who hadn't seen him was gone, they forgot, and they moved on. And my first thought's like, what the heck, people? Like, how many times, and they had the books of the Bible, they passed them down all this time. They've seen what happened. They have written thing, but they just forgot. How many times does God have to deliver you from armies? How many times does he have to save you before you stop going to other gods, worshiping other things, spending time on other things? How many times in our own lives does God have to reroute us back? We may not stop going to church. We may not stop, coming around. But sometimes we stop praying, and sometimes we stop loving, and sometimes we stop operating in those gifts, and we start to think we're not good enough and we're not worthy. And after a while, we just move on. And then something probably comes along that whips your butt, and you're like, oh, God, like, help me. And then we come back. We're just like them. We got to see them on scales of thousands of years, but we do the same thing in a year. We can forget and go back, and it may not look as grand of a slide, but we have to keep ourselves focused. We have to keep those things we remember, about God fresh in our minds so that we can operate and continue to be our best on that plan. If we don't listen, if we don't hear, it's hard to stay on a plan that somebody else is, guiding. So, the last thing I really have to say is just go out and live with love. Care about the people around you. It's hard, we're kind of at a very weird time where people are already socially anxious and don't like to talk all the time, and then we get trapped in our houses for so long, and it's even harder to go out and interact. And we don't even know if people are going to accept our interacting, but trying to love them, giving it a chance, just talking and being ourselves as spokesmen of God. Even if you're not talking to them about God necessarily, you're treating them with kindness. They're going to see that it's a ministry for God. Anything you do that's good and that's done with love for God is a ministry. So just be open, listen, and he'll guide you. He'll open you up for bigger and better things. And if there's no bigger and better things, there's nothing bigger than love. There's nothing bigger than just being kind to people. And, when they think about you, just that's a nice person. I don't know anything about them. I don't know what they believe, but that's a good person. That's a good thing for God. So open yourself up, and, anything you do will be ministry. So that's all. So, you can all stand, and then you can all leave.